We are 18 days out from the last day of voting. We have 18 election days from now to Tuesday. Yesterday, we had a epic day in Arizona. Kudos to Donald Trump Jr., who is a true patriot. This guy took a early morning flight from the East Coast, landed around 10 a.m., and did an event every hour on the hour. We had events in Mason. We had events in Queen Creek. We had events at Arizona State University, events in Tempe. We had events everywhere. And that he was out later doing events than I was yesterday. And so yesterday, we went and did our Super Chase events in Queen Creek and Mesa, which are the deployments to go chase ballots. It is the beginning of the strategy to win election month. After that, we did an event on campus. Let's show the picture of us on campus yesterday at Arizona State University. Thousands and thousands of students that were attending our on-campus event. Look right there. At Arizona State University. After that, we then went to more Super Chase events, and then we did an evening event with Donald Trump Jr. right on campus there at ASU at the Omni Hotel, which I'm sure we can throw up a picture of that of. And then after that, we did a very unique event. An event that shows, and by the way, it's consistent with some recent polling, the evidence for a big youth gender gap, as we've been saying on this program. The New York Times writes, young men are much more Republican than young women. The best data suggests and may wind up backing Donald Trump. Mr. Trump leads Harris among young men 58% to 37% across the last three New York Times Siena polls. Now, Ms. Harris holds an even larger lead with young women, 67% to 28%. Now, we'll have plenty of time of unpacking why young women are supporting Kamala Harris so enthusiastically. That's for a different time. But of course, these young women do not understand that they are voting to destroy their own future and the country. And to the young men credit, they are looking far in the distance that they want an actual country they can live in. Young ladies don't seem that interested in that. Ms. Harris is, however, faring no better than Joe Biden did among young men in the Times Siena data, even though she's made significant gains among young women. If this enormous gender gap among young voters holds, it'll be one of the most important developments of the election season, one that would at once clarify a surprising trend and perhaps even change how we understand gender and cultural dynamics in America today. Understand, us losing young women is not a good thing, but if young men almost offset it, that means that, by definition, Kamala Harris would only win the youth vote by like 18 or 20 points, which would be a seismic change versus prior election cycles. Now, what you're looking up on screen there is a BYOB event that we did at Turning Point Action last night. Nope, not bring your own beer, not bring your own beverage. No. Bring your own ballot. This is a one-of-a-kind Turning Point Action deployment event where we had our staffers plan an event with Don Jr. in the evening on the campus of Arizona State University. And let's show that B-roll, guys, where we were able to facilitate over 280 first-time voters for Donald Trump that submitted their ballot right there at the BYOB event. They came with their ballots from frat houses, from sorority houses, from apartment complexes, condominiums. We are making it cool to vote for Trump. And it's not just, I want you guys to understand this. This is not just a big event and vibes and energy. This is now banked votes for Donald Trump in an area that Kamala Harris needs to run up the score. Look at how long the lines were. People were bringing in their ballots. There is no other organization in the country that is mobilizing low-prop first-time voters and getting their votes into the system like Turning Point Action. In fact, let's show the video, guys, of actually outside of the drop box. These are first-time voters, by the way. These are people that have never voted before. Look right there. There's a drop box. Boom. That is a vote. Boom. That is a vote. These are first-time voters that people never voted for. These are new voters into the system. Boom. A vote for Trump. Understand, we as conservatives have never done this type of work before. This is work that was not done in 2020. That was not done in 2016. This is exactly the type of work that is necessary to win this election. 124, you see the crowds that are lining there. 280 first-time voters. You see, Kamala Harris is already dealing from not a great place right now. This is the surge that is necessary. And let me tell you right now, if these college kids who have never voted before can get their ballot in a box, if these college kids can get out and get their friends to go vote, by the way, this is not a rock concert line. This is a line to go vote, to go submit your ballot, and then to be able to go into BYOB. This is not to go see Taylor Swift. This is not to go see the Arizona Cardinals. No. There's something profound happening here. And I want to reemphasize the point. It's easy to get lost in all these videos and pictures that I've shown you before. What is more important to understand, this is real votes, everybody. This is not polls. This is not even voter registration. These are now banked, secured votes for Donald J. Trump. And mind you, these are voters that may or may not have showed up if you just have one day of voting. You have one day of voting, college kids, they might sleep in late, they might forget. No. Turning Point Action is getting their ballots into the system. Because remember, this election will be won or lost not on who wins the debate. We've already won the debate. We win on every issue except abortion. No, this issue will be won or lost based on who is able to mobilize our voters and get their ballots into the system. Now, let me tell you some other good news. Can we please show the picture of our event last night at the Omni Hotel? This is what's also very promising. So last evening, we hosted all these events, and we had Donald Trump Jr. at several events, one of which was at the Omni. And this was not necessarily a student-focused event, nor did we plan it to be. But there was about half students, half regular, everyday adult patriots. And it was both encouraging but also motivating, but not surprising. So let me just set the context. We are currently beating Democrats in early voting in Arizona. Now, that's going to taper. It's going to taper. I'm going to say right now, it's going to taper. It's going to go down. It's going to tighten. So get ready for that. But we're beating them in early voting. So we had this event at the Omni Hotel, and I was not sure what to expect right there. And I asked the audience, raise your hand if you have voted yet. And I would say 10% of the room raised their hand. Now, mind you, that is motivating because we got to get them out to the polls. But these are high propensity voters. These are people that they will crawl over glass to go vote for Trump. What I'm getting at, though, is that if we're beating the Democrats already in early voting, what that sample size showed me at the Omni Hotel is that our best and most reliable voters haven't engaged yet. And that is very, very encouraging. Said otherwise, what Turning Point Action is doing in Arizona to get out the vote of low propensity voters means that we are now competing and beating Democrats in early voting with people that otherwise may not have showed up at all. And our best voters have not even dipped a toe into this election yet. What do I mean by best voters? These are the people that will wait 5 hours in a rally line. They'll donate money. They'll put $10. They'll buy the MAGA hat. These are they're 5 out of 4 propensity voters. You watch this program, you're a high propensity voter. And I asked how many you voted. I thought maybe half the hands would go up. I would say only 10% of the hands go up. That means that the high propensity cavalry is coming if we can close the deal with low propensity voters. The high propensity cavalry has not even begun to engage yet. In Arizona right now, Republicans, 72,000 of which have voted early. Democrats, 53,000 have voted early. And then 10,000 independent or nonpartisan. That means that, and by the way, we have chased over 10,000 early low propensity ballots in just the first week of early voting. That means 14% of all Republican ballots submitted so far were because of Turning Point Action ballot chasers and those videos that you saw. But we must accelerate the surge. By the way, just so you understand, 40% of all Arizona households don't even have their ballots yet. I don't either. We have plenty of dry powder left. We have to go find every low propensity voter during early month and bank our votes to save the country.